less damage, so I don't think it's affecting his car quite as much as the amount that Chest Human Air has now got to his car probably will. Drastic weight saving technique might not pay off.
And this Kurzer pretty quickly closing in on Radoslav Piwankiewicz though. But he is going very close to the limit a lot of times.
925, so I don't think he's going to be looking to close up the gap to Dominic Ladler anytime soon, but he's got plenty of a gap to Piotr Zdybal, so nothing he has to worry about too much.
Dennis Kurzer is taking a lot of risk in the braking zones. He's always braking the last possible moment. The thing, of course, with this car being it's quite heavy relative to other cars, doesn't really have the downforce. And when you then have to correct the car in terms of movements and introduce some steering angle, you lose a lot of braking force once the ABS is really starting to do its work, which of course keeps you from locking your tires, but at the same time loses you a bit of braking performance.
Yeah, you can really feel the brakes kind of backing off when the ABS starts to kick in. So definitely not optimal in these cars, but in theory safer.
ABS is one of these things that really came a long way through motorsports, I think. At the start of ABS, which was in the late 80s, early 90s, you really had the braking performance lower than when you just trail braked. So you could get more performance out of the car without ABS, but ABS, of course, on the normal streets being much safer by retaining steerability when you brake. I think ABS saved a lot of lives out there. But nowadays there isn't really much of a difference whether you have ABS or not in terms of braking performance, as long as it's in a straight line. Since when you fully brake with ABS or perfectly trail brake without ABS, the modern ABS can dislodge and engage the brakes so quickly you don't really have the difference anymore, which is quite crazy to see how much motorsport actually contributed to this.
Yeah, the big difference being, I suppose, the amount of thought you have to put into it, the amount of kind of like brain bandwidth it takes up. With the ABS, you can just hammer the pedal and let the computer do the work, which frees up a little bit of brain power to think about other things.
Maybe it frees up Dennis Kurzer's mind on how to get past Radoslav Piwankiewicz. Because he's within 1.5 seconds. One crazy side fact is that 3 out of 5 drivers in the top 5 are from Poland, actually. Zdybal and Piwankiewicz.
It's been quite a lot of Polish supremacy on the public races as well recently. I think I've seen quite a few screenshots in the Discord of a lot of Polish flags.
Going into Foxhole now. But it seems like Radoslav Piwankiewicz has corners where he's stronger than Dennis Kurzer, because since Hatzenbach he built up a 3/10 gap again. And now here through Anna Voss as well, prioritizing the exit of the turn. Dennis Kurzer gaining back sometimes. So really the difference between these drivers being a lot greater than between most other drivers where they gain their lap time. I think Władysław Pionkiewicz is stronger on the accelerator, Dennis Kurzer a lot stronger on the brakes.
Yeah, the gap between those two has definitely yo-yoed quite a lot throughout the lap. So they do definitely both seem to have their own strengths and weaknesses. It might also be something to do with the car settings, like we said before, with the ABS and the TC settings.
Going down into Reserve, Władysław Pionkiewicz on a very wide line, has to keep the car stable, and Dennis Kurzer is going by.
And that's a nice, easy overtake for Dennis Kurzer, which is probably not what he was wanting, to be honest. I know